Hello, and welcome to yet another Red Company podcast where we are back from your and everybody else's dog's least favorite holiday. Let's give it up for 4th of July.
It was my dog's favorite holiday.
Oh, no. My dog hates it.
He likes to chase fireworks. And
Absolutely
bite 'em.
hates it. It's not just mine. I saw a lot of other people saying the same thing. But then again, if you go onto the Nextdoor app, you're just going to see a lot of people complaining about everything.
Yeah, please don't let off fireworks on the 4th of July. My dog's getting, here's a dog.
Anyway, fireworks are fun until they're not,
Yeah.
as evidenced by many fires I saw over the weekend on the news. Anyway, guys, let's do a little housekeeping before we get into it. Is there anything to address before we start?
Hopefully you guys took advantage of the 20% off almost everything on the 4th of July sale that we had going on. Could have gotten a sticker, could have gotten 20% off a lot of great products. So hopefully everybody got to take advantage of it. And if you missed out, the best way to find out when we're doing these upcoming sales, one, not only listen to the podcast, two,
that's
watch the Q&A. But realistically, if you can't do those first two things, just sign up for the newsletter. Go to theragcompany.com, scroll to the bottom, sign up for the newsletter. That way it hits your email inbox and you know exactly when we're doing something. So,
Absolutely. That's the guaranteed way you will find out.
The best way.
Regardless of any of the other stuff. Guaranteed way. If it's happening, you will find out there. Before we get too far, unless there's some more housekeeping you want to touch on.
Dane, I have a lot of houses.
You do. Okay, so let me just throw this bit in since we're at the very beginning here.
All right.
I was looking on iTunes and I saw we actually had a lot more reviews than I remember.
Very
and that
nice.
was nice. So I want to say thank you to anybody who has recently left a 5-star review for the podcast. And if you haven't, please consider doing so because it helps us get in front of more people and it helps us spread the good word, as it were. I really appreciate all of you who enjoy listening to us talk about, well, we say bad words too, but, about microfiber, about detailing, about our weekends.
Here's what I'm going to do,
all
Dane.
that good stuff.
I want people to go and post comments on iTunes.
Yes.
If you post, let's do this.
Ooh, do we want to do like a giveaway for people?
Giveaway, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
We pick our favorite one, or we do like a random
you right there.
selection.
All right, so how many weeks do we want to do this? 2 weeks?
Let's give them 2 weeks. It's a nice little buffer.
All right, so let me pull out my phone, check the dates. Maybe we give what do you think, Anthony? What should we give away? Some sort of towel kit, perhaps?
Sure, we can
maybe
give away a little kit or something.
Yeah, a towel kit would be pretty nice.
All right.
I think that'd be pretty fun.
Something like that.
Let's see. So today is Tuesday the 5th.
Okay.
On the 18th or 19th, when we do the podcast of July, we will announce the winner, whoever left the best comment on iTunes.
But how do you judge the best comment?
Well,
you can see it. We're going to see what comments are posted. If you
best
leave a
may
5-star,
be a little,
you got to leave
little
a
unfair
All
because
right.
it may be a bunch of smoke blowing
I would
or
just
something.
say from now until
we pick our
then,
favorite. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
It's
Pick our favorite.
subjective.
I don't even know
So
if that's
we kind of leave it open-ended, but we're not going to play favorites
people
with
to-
the person
I want
writing
you
the
to- I
comment.
want
We're just
people to
going to
post.
appreciate it.
I want
them to
people
leave
to
it.
post too. That's what I'm saying. Like, post a review, post a comment, right?
Right.
And what we'll be doing is during
Damn it,
that
G,
time,
we can't do that.
we will be randomly selecting. Right?
Randomly selecting.
We randomly
We'll take-
select. We
all
draw.
right.
We draw a number. Draw a
Yeah,
card.
or we'll do a
whatever.
random. We'll do a
And
generator.
the thing is, if we get 15 reviews, right, you have a 1 in 15 chance of winning
awesome.
something cool.
There you go. Perfect.
I think that's
pretty
fair.
amazing.
So
That's a
the
great
rules,
idea. I like that.
The rules are very simple. You must give it a 5-star review because presumably,
Dang,
if
but
you're
that's
writing
not a
there,
true review.
oh
They
no,
might
I listen
hate
to a
us.
lot of podcasts, and the 5 stars are the only ones that help actually get your podcast noticed by other people. So
That's how we do
it's
it.
got to be a 5-star review, and it can't just be a rating. It has to also have some sort of actual written review attached to it.
Yeah.
And my little addition to this is it can't just be like 2 words like good stuff or something like that. I want to see you actually write a small paragraph.
Take a little effort into it.
I want to
A little
see
effort.
at least 2 or 3 sentences.
Ooh.
I
that
want to
in
see a
MLA
minimum
format or
of
ALA?
2. We don't care about
all right.
if it's school grade quality.
Do you
I
want
just
it
want to make sure
double-spaced or single
there,
spaced?
Anthony, I just want to make sure there's actual effort involved because if we're giving something away, I
Yeah.
want somebody to feel like they truly earned it. So, you have your marching orders. Let's see what happens.
2 weeks.
Thank you.
So
All right.
we'll draw on the 18th or 19th, whatever the next live podcast.
And I knew this comment was going to come. Okay, so
No
DS is
DS.
giveaways only for Apple users. Not necessarily. Anybody can create an account on iTunes, even if they don't actually use the podcast app. You
True.
can just go there and leave your review. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
On the
that's
numbers
true.
game, yes, more people who use Apple products tend to listen to our stuff, as I found. But that's not everybody, and I understand that. However, anybody can create an account. Doesn't cost anything, so far as I know. You should be able to do that, and you can leave a review.
But we are
and
trying
then you
to
can
get
delete
our
it
numbers,
afterwards and go about your business.
But we are
It's
trying
fine.
to get our rating up on Apple.
Yes,
That's
because
the reason we're
that
doing it.
is the main
Because
draw
Spotify and
on
all
this
the
one.
other places you get your podcast, we know where we stand.
Yeah.
We know how we do there. Apple is the one company that kind of hides how well you're doing. The only way you
Yeah.
know you can get bumped farther is by getting more 5-star reviews and ratings. So
Now,
that's what we need. And
I'm
that's
not
what
stopping
that's why we're doing
anybody
it.
from any other platform from leaving a review. However, some of them don't allow for it. So I just figured iTunes was the most
Appreciate
obvious
it.
one that
There
everybody
you go.
could see. So that's the way to go.
Easy
Anyway,
peasy lemon
Anthony.
squeezy.
No, Apple makes great products. Anyway, moving on. So yes, we this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Joey.
We had the sale going on,
Right.
right? So we had 20% off site wide. We also had the firework kits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I, to my knowledge, I think we sold a ton of the firework kits, which is great. I know that we sold a lot of Sternagloss products, and people were able to get their hands on a lot of other things at 20% off, which is just really good all around. And so we won't have another 20% off sale probably until I believe that's Labor Day, right? Labor Day, which is in September, right?
Yeah, it's a little while.
And potentially 20% off. I still got to talk to the guys. I make the rules,
Yeah.
so I need to see what we're going to be allowed to do.
20% off is like the big sales.
But that's the big sales.
The
It's
big
only a few
sales.
times a year, and so try to jump on it when you can. 4th of July, though, that's definitely a big one. And this month, we do have a lot of things in the pipeline. I mean, more things that we even can wrap our heads around. And
Yeah.
so we're going to try to get a lot of these things to come to fruition in terms of products, plans, videos, ideas, things like that. So July is busy for us. August is going to be busy for us. And hopefully we can get everything in line because fall is one of our favorite times of year, right? And so we want to make sure we're sorted, getting ready for SEMA, getting ready for all that.
We're get ready for junkyard season.
Get ready for junkyard season. It's just crazy to me that's already July.
I know.
It's weird because those first couple months, they'd take forever.
Yeah.
January, February, like, God, I can't wait till it gets warm. And then actually, weather's been really nice this summer.
Yesterday
so
was
far.
delightful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday evening was about the nicest 4th of July I think I've ever had.
I've had in years.
period.
It was
Weather-wise.
perfect. It was like 80 degrees even, and it just stayed that way for a lot of the evening.
Dude, it was perfect. So, with that said, we just want to get everything in order here, but there is some very, very, very exciting things to look forward to here this month and then in August as well. So, I think that's it. I think that's it for housekeeping. There's nothing else going on. Oh, sorry, one last thing. We did announce our Grand Ambassadors.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
right.
new Grand Ambassadors
So,
got
yes.
announced on Friday.
Our 10 newest Grand Ambassadors, I'm going to go ahead and read those off to everybody who may have missed the post.
Or you
on
can simply look on
Instagram.
Instagram right now, pull it up, and look at the Rag Company's more recent post with the list. And you can see their profiles.
We've got Boston TTRS. We've got
Probably talking to you, Mike.
Mac Brothers Detailing, Suppressed Details, Claire W.FI, Top Class Detail, SCV Suds, MJ_Detail, Louis Production, and Infrared 1LE. And that's all stateside here in the U.S. And then in the United Kingdom, we have Auto Care HQ. So 10 people to join the Grand Ambassador program. It was, congratulations. It took 2 days of judging. Like I said, we had a ton of applicants.
Yeah.
And we wanted to have a good mix of auto enthusiasts, and we also wanted to have some detailers. We really want to encourage more people from out of the country to apply for the program. Back in the day, we got a lot of people from, Germany, we got Belgium, we've had, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, all these different places.
Did we have somebody in Iceland before? We've had Ireland, but have we had
not
Iceland?
true
or-
Iceland?
okay.
No.
Scotland, maybe?
We've had not Scotland. We've had several in Ireland. We had one in Isle of Man. And
Croatia?
Then, we had one in Croatia. So we've had people apply from these different areas, but lately, these last couple quarters, it's been like a really
Kind of dried up or
Not a lot of
something.
worldwide. I mean, it's been very much a stateside audience, and so I want to encourage more people. If you're out of the country, to definitely apply. Because,
Or if you have a friend who's out of the country and happens to be in like your group of car people or whatever, tell them about it. If they're not familiar with it, tell them to check it out.
And if they've got a killer Instagram, or if they're doing great things on social media, I mean, like it's definitely worth applying for. So with that said, I'm still very happy with the group that we have. I think that they're going to do a fantastic job, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do for Q3. I'm going to be having phone calls with them this week, so I'll probably lose my voice by Friday. So I got to send out an email, get them signed up for a time slot, and then start making calls this week. So I'm going to be busy doing that, and then hopefully getting their products sent out as soon as possible. So again, congratulations to the new Grandmasters. Q2 killed it. Killed it, dude. They did such a good job. I mean, it was just great. My favorite thing is if I don't have to I chime in with them every once in a while. I say, "How's it going?" But these guys, they just knew what to do. Yeah, and I love that. And so
basically,
we'll see.
If you're watching, take notes.
I'm telling you right now, based on just Q1 and Q2, going to the Grandmaster of the Year prizes at the end of the year, it's gonna be tough for sure. Yeah. It's gonna be tough. Well, I mean, I think it'll be just as tough as the 2021. Grandmaster was
because pretty big.
Because we had some killer people in there.
So was this quarter the biggest turnout we've had in terms of entries for anyone we've put out so far?
It was. Yeah,
it's at least like top 2 or 3. But.
It was. This quarter was probably top 5 in the amount of entries there was. Biggest thing. I mean, my biggest advice I'll tell everybody is, if you
I hope everybody can hear Gabe yelling
in
the background.
That's very useful.
That's what
Sorry, guys.
In the podcast studio.
He comes in.
Gabe, be quiet.
My biggest advice would be that if you are posting monthly, right, we do ask you that question. Are you posting daily, weekly, a couple times a week, monthly?
Right. I'm not posting
If you're posting monthly, it typically does not work out in your favor.
Like, right? I'd be terrible for it.
I'll just say that.
And,
there was probably a good 50 or 60 entries that they're like, I post monthly. I'm like, monthly? And I look at their page, literally once a month. I said, you want to be a Grandmaster and only post once a month? I said, that's like 3 posts in a quarter. I'm like, that's great. I'm like it's not going to work out. So
5 stars for Joey.
Anyway, so just something to keep in mind. But anyways, enough boring talk there.
No, gee.
Oh my God,
that's awesome.
That is that's fantastic. So anyway, let's jump into the weekend. So Dane, right? I heard you had a pretty exciting, busy weekend.
Let's recap. Thursday we were talking.
Yeah.
Dane had a whole game plan. He was going to set up the pool.
Yeah.
So he could be floating, eating glizzies.
That was
fireworks.
Kind of the goal.
And have his drink
last
holder,
night.
Right?
Yeah, that was the goal. It was the whole plan. Yeah. Get it ready for last night. Well, Dane.
Ideally, he was going to have a conveyor belt that would transport the glizzies down the conveyor belt.
That's right.
And it's remote control, so he just hits the button and it brings them to the pool. Yeah, he goes, oh.
The Glizembly line. I have to come up with the stuff on the fly. Okay.
How was last night? Chilling in the pool, eating them glizzies, watching the fireworks. How'd it go?
I saw fireworks, didn't have glizzies, didn't have a pool. So the way it broke down was I'm really good at setting up plans for something and then doing everything but that plan.
Okay.
So I seem to have a pretty good track record of, I bought this thing that gets me like halfway to completing this goal that I have, and then I get sidetracked by like a bunch of other dumb stuff. So that's basically in a nutshell what happened. But if I were to break it down, let's see, Friday, what did we do Friday? My mind is just, broken. But yeah, I got that pool. So that arrived pretty quickly, I might add, on Thursday. So I was like, super great. Yeah, no, big box, ready to go. And I thought...
On our lunch break, do we need to help you set that up?
I feel like that's something we need to do.
I'm realizing now, since I didn't set it up, that I'm like, okay, before I set up, let me get a cover for it and this other stuff that I meant to get over the weekend. I was looking at places I couldn't find.
You're going to have to order that.
And I also couldn't find chlorine tablets. Couldn't find them when I was looking around at like my local Home Depots and stuff.
Yeah, you're going to have to order all that, Dane.
So chlorine tablets, I got mine at Walmart.
And get them at Fred Meyer's.
I chopped them up.
Basically, I'm going to go look at Walmart or something, but I didn't see them at Depot when I got my little floating, dispenser guy. So I've got that. I just don't have the other stuff. Instead, I turned my weekend around into a bug-killing tirade because, unfortunately, as my house, I enjoy it so much up there, something always has to be there to pop my balloon. So my dog dug a good-sized hole in the planter bed right next to the rear front door. So basically it's like the front door of my house, but really it's like the backyard is my front yard, that kind of thing. But yeah, right next to that doorway. And unfortunately, because of expansion contraction, the gap in the door frame is such that you can see a little daylight coming through there. I'm like, oh no. It still locks and the deadbolt works and everything. It doesn't move, but it's enough that a bug could crawl through. So I'm like, ugh. And when I first got the house, first thing I did was put up a bug barrier around the whole thing, zap the whole house.
Were you an Ortho or Bayer kind of guy?
Let's see, what was I using? I think it was
Ortho Home Defense.
I think it was Bayer actually.
Was it
yeah,
12 months.
I think it was a 6-month deal. I needed 12-month, but I basically went through and zapped everything because I was noticing earwigs getting in the house, and I hate those things.
Those are the worst. They crawl in your ears.
It's just So yeah, I kind of went ham at Home Depot and bought so many different bug killing torture devices.
But did you fill the hole back up?
So I still need to do that. I didn't have dirt.
Hold on a second.
Hey, this doesn't make any
sense. Hold on.
So the door is open to bug.
She dug a hole, which then caused the door to open, which I'm still confused about.
No, those two are not connected. Those two.
But then you didn't fill the hole back in, but you went and got bug stuff to clean and make sure no bugs came in.
This is like when you went and bought a truck.
Was empty.
You bought a truck to move a toilet. this is like that.
This is the backwards.
I had to move a toilet, so I went and bought a truck.
Yeah.
The big hole damaged the door frame. I got
myself some actual replacement trim to go in the door frame, which sealed it up a good amount.
That's good.
But there's still some peeking through, so I think I need some expansion foam or something along those lines.
Hungry for some trim.
Well, you know what they say, or at least some people say. Beyond that, no, I did not fill in the hole. I need to do that. However, when I looked at the hole of dirt, that's just my assumption because I'd seen an earwig there before. When I looked, though, yesterday I was looking.
Full earwigs.
There weren't earwigs there.
So have you seen an earwig in the house yet, though?
Yes. And what really tripped me up was there was one on the 3rd floor on the bathroom window. That is and I was like, how in did this get all the way up here?
Yeah.
And there's been not like an infestation like crazy, but just enough that it's really annoying. And, anything more than 0 is too many for me.
1 to 10, how many would you say you've seen so far?
8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have 8 earwigs.
Over the course of 4 days, I have seen 8 earwigs. So I'm not about it.
Spiders.
Yeah.
I see spiders.
Spiders are like a normal thing. If you see them like maybe once every couple of weeks, it's like, okay. But, I expect that living in the foothills, you're going to have more bugs. And I've been told that recently with all the rain we'd had prior to all this, sunshine we have now, the extra moisture kind of had bugs going a little crazy this year compared to
now you've got Sassafras, and she is a avid hunter.
So also over the weekend, I was witness to a lizard in my washroom with my washer and dryer, my laundry room. I looked down on the floor and went, what is that? Oh my, that's a lizard. And it's not like a gecko. It's bigger than a gecko. It's like the size.
Lizards.
Legs out, it's like the size of my phone.
Yeah.
So it's a
mitts.
Good sized little guy. But yeah, no, the polydactyl cat, she's very good at catching his lizards, and I swear she hunts them and just brings them in for fun. So.
Well, they're gifts. She's earning her keep.
So far, they've all survived except for one, but they all seem to lose their tail because it's like the breakaway tail situation. One of those. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
Impressive.
Point is, my pool did not happen. I was very, very bummed by that, but I'm going to get the tablets. I'm going to get the cover, which I'll probably just order online because looking for one in person has been kind of a pain, which is fine. I'll do that. And then I'll blow it up. And then I'll fill it with water, kill my grass, have a good time. I got some floaties from Costco that I'm very excited to try in it. The kind of like horseshoe-shaped one with the little mesh seat. That looked pretty awesome.
You're gonna like those.
And Liz's mom is also coming to visit for we haven't seen her since before the pandemic. So actually it's been a long time. So
she gets to enjoy
very excited.
The new amenity.
She's going to enjoy the pool with us. So that'll be cool.
So when is she coming?
I think in 2 weeks.
Okay, so we got to get that. So we got to get that pool.
We got to make that happen.
Pool up.
Yeah.
We got to get it filled. We got to get that pH stabilized, right?
Yep.
Make sure that it's got a decent amount of. We'll check the free chlorine levels, right? Make sure the free and total chlorine in there. Make sure it's balanced, and honestly, cover it. Make sure the filters are working properly. Get it warmed up. It's gonna be a place. It's
gonna be nice. Yeah. I think
you're
gonna enjoy it.
So, in addition to that stuff, I know I pulled that up already. Okay, so now I'm trying to remember. I believe it was on Saturday. I was doing my, getting bug killing supplies, other stuff in the morning, and then I was doing a lot of reorganizing my garage and the shed because I had to clear out my storage unit, as you remember. So I had a bunch of stuff sitting under the carport outside, and it's not raining anytime soon, but I didn't want to be caught, with my pants down in that situation. So,
gee,
you
are
comments.
amazing.
I can't even.
Oh my gosh! It's between that and the 1960 Thunderbird, right? Which will for sure seal the deal, right? Impressed by my Thunderbird? No. Check out my inflatable.
Like my house. This is very nice.
Okay, so derailing that. By the way, if you're writing great comments, please turn that into a review. We really appreciate that. Okay, so. Back to the thing. I have a bunch of stuff sitting under my carport outside.
Yeah.
So I got myself some shelving units. I got myself some racks, some stuff so I could actually organize in the garage. And that helped a lot. So I'm much happier with that situation now. Liz can park her car back in the garage again, which is great. And things aren't going to get soaked outside if it does rain, but I don't suspect that'll happen anytime soon. So that was my morning. Other than this morning will sprinkle up. That actually happened. That was kind of surprising. Anyway, because my stories are always so boring. Basically got that laid out, dealt with it, and then I got a call at about noon. 1-ish, something like that, and it was Gabe. And Gabe said, "Hey, so you know how you told me that you'd be willing to help if you could get that lawn furniture and stuff, like outdoor furniture from your parents' house, because he has a trailer that he moves stuff around on, which is very helpful. My van can haul a lot, but his trailer can haul things that my van could never fit, like couches and stuff. So he basically got me involved into a whole couch moving operation, not just couch, but like other furniture too.
I'll help you if you help me.
Yeah, it was basically help us do all this other stuff first, and then at the very end, we'll drop off like the 2 items you want at your house. I was like, yeah, that sounds worth it for like 4 or 5 hours worth of just, hard labor hauling stuff. We're the, we called ourselves the Three Stooges Moving Company because it was my brother and Gabe and myself.
Right.
So,
the three Hennon sons.
Yeah, well,
as you're
sure.
known.
And we basically, for those who don't know, it looks like my parents are finally actually moving out of their house. And that was something I kind of teased a few weeks ago where I was like, something's happening. Well, it was that, which is surprising because they've been in that house since 2002. So very long time, very amazing, established backyard, all this stuff. And it's hard to give up. But also that means there's 20 years of stuff in the house. So like I had to go through a lot of childhood things and dig stuff up.
The staircase of pictures.
The staircase of pictures, which Liz actually helped my mom organize some like scrapbooks of photos and stuff, so she's able to keep all that without it, being framed on the wall, because a new house won't necessarily have all that wall space. So it's a little trade-off. But my mom was super happy about that, so I was glad to see that. Beyond that, though, so we ended up in the moving business for the better part of the second half of the day. And that meant taking things to Gabe's in-laws' house, including a large sofa and some other stuff like that, and then taking stuff to Gabe's house, and then taking stuff to my house at the very end. So, it was multiple trips and a lot of moving around, but, it's progress. But there were a few things that I had to leave behind at my parents' house because if we took everything, they wouldn't have anything for hosting, like, some guests and stuff in the backyard. They needed something. So eventually I will have their little fire pit table, but until that happens, I gotta wait because they need a place to host people.
Who is taking the grand piano or the baby grand piano?
I strongly suspect that is not.
I'll take it.
That is not one that's for sale.
I'm just asking because I'm not moving it.
Remember when we had to lift it and move that thing?
Yeah, and we only had to move it like 15 feet. And I was like, this is insane.
There were 6 of us.
Dude, it was insane. I'll never move that thing. But I will happily take
stuff with Gabe.
It was fun, let me tell you.
I will happily take the sister to your massage chair if you ever need a massage chair friend.
They are keeping that.
And we can call each other when we're in it.
You could. That'd be great.
Say, so what are you
How's
doing?
it going?
And you're like, I'm in the massage chair. I'm like, so
cool, me too.
Are we going to watch this R movie together now?
You bet. By the way, if you haven't, you really should. Okay, so yeah, there's that, and that
I'll
was
take any
how I
shelving or storage that the Hennon family does not want in their garage.
So, after this, perhaps go talk to them. Yeah. So that was kind of the general gist of how I spent my Saturday. I was exhausted. I was dead tired. And Sunday, I didn't really feel like doing anything, but I did it anyway because I still had to do my stuff in the garage and all that. So I mostly did that. And hanging up I found some cool things, some bug zappers that are solar powered that look like little torches that have like an LED flame effect. It's a little cheesy, but at the same time, they're solar powered and they're bug zappers. So put them in the corners of your yard. And I'm like, great, let's get rid of those flying, little bee
Let it be
holes.
known, Dane Hennon does not abide an insect on his property.
Well, we'll see how well that works. But, yeah, anyway.
An open crevice for them to walk in.
Just a gaping maw on the ground, and it's like releasing all these hell beasts.
Salt guns that you shoot the bugs.
Oh, man.
Explode them.
So, yeah, great fun.
Yeah.
Love that. And, I did get contracted into manual labor for the weekend, and I thought, this 4th of July better be chill, right? Mm-hmm. So 4th of July being yesterday, still more moving stuff.
Like you do.
But not with Gabe this time. It was more collecting like models that I used to have as a little kid, which I brought to the office here to finally give
all
my
stuff from your
desk
parents' house?
some character. Yes.
All like the boxes of your stuff you had to get out.
Yeah, most of my stuff had been taken out years ago because when I moved into my own place, I took a lot of it with me.
Yeah, but leftovers.
But they had a handful of things that were like in the bottom drawer of like a big dresser cabinet that hadn't been used for a long time. And we opened it up and we're like, oh, that's where all your models went. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was kind of fun finding those again. So now they're on my desk out there. So I'm happy about that. They also found like some old posters, like old Lamborghini posters and stuff from as a kid from
those
the
look
90s.
good in the garage.
They're pretty rad, like a original Diablo VT kind of thing. I love that. The old Viper poster.
Yeah, you should frame those and put them in the garage.
Cool.
I think that'd be pretty rad.
I think that would be pretty rad. So there's an idea. But yeah, that was most of that. And then we actually did celebrate. We got ourselves some Dickie's barbecue pit, and Kelly and Maylee showed up, and they had some friends with them. We all just kind of hung out. Then they had to go, but it was mostly my brother, Liz, and my parents. Just had ourselves some barbecue, kind of watched the fireworks happening over across the way. Cooper is deaf now, so he doesn't even notice them.
That's good.
Which is, I guess that's a silver lining to what's unfortunate, degeneration in a dog. But my dog was not so happy. She went inside and was afraid to come out, and poor thing she's a big dog, but she's also a big baby as soon as there's fireworks happening. So, she was crawling into the closet as soon as I got home there, and it was not good. Thank you, Jay Davis. I did have a Volkswagen Beetle model, so that's out there, bright yellow. Anyway, that was most of what we did. I mean, it wasn't too exciting, other than the last part, which is, once again, this is like super pedestrian Dane stuff. After the 4th of July celebration, I had to then take the van, which I had filled with cardboard, to go drop off after my parents. On my way to go drop off said cardboard, it basically requires me to go to the other side of the freeway, which is like, 20 minutes, south in town. And there were fireworks going off everywhere. And what was cool and / terrifying if your dog's in the car was going around that
the Y.
Big Y. Yeah.
Call
so
it
it's
the y,
basically
the flying
like
Y. That's the name of the interchange.
Think like a big banked racetrack corner.
Well, that's my performance testing track. That's where I like
it's the closest thing we have.
I test
the closest thing we have to anything
GM
like
test
that.
Track. It's literally where you pull the most G's. And I remember in 2004 taking an Evo around that bend at 100 and going, ooh, that's holding pretty good. My Elantra can only do it at about 95, and I start to feel the rear end kick out a little bit.
I'll tell you what, at 70 in the van, it's exciting.
Oh, I bet it's scary as all
It's tall. But, so what was exciting about doing that was somebody, there are a lot of neighborhoods around there where it's like, okay, everybody loves the fireworks and stuff, but there was somebody at the base of the freaking freeway just off to the side setting off fireworks from right below, so they would pop right up next to you as you're going around the bend. it was like action movie exciting, but also holy, when it's
terrifying.
that close.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw some sparks actually land on the overpass. So that's
pretty cool.
That's pretty intense. Nice. But from out there, it's kind of wide open view, so you can see it going on all around the valley. Very cool.
Yeah.
But not so cool when they don't stop until like 2 a.m. So there's that.
It's a good one. Jerry.
Anyway, that was my weekend. So why don't we talk about
how are the hot dogs?
Your actual celebration?
Well, let me just tell you guys, the Gates family, quite the weekend. Now, for those wondering, this weekend I had no cars to detail.
Ooh.
I actually have a car this week that I'm going to detail, but no cars to detail this weekend. 4th of July weekend, so a 3-day weekend. I didn't know what to do with myself, but here's what I did do. Ordered a new dishwasher for my house.
Ooh,
nice.
Got that ordered Friday.
You got that 4th of July special.
Would you go with Whirlpool?
I got the exact same Whirlpool. I got the exact same Whirlpool dishwasher that I am replacing 4 years later.
Okay.
Not really happy about it, but all the other ones were equally just as crappy reviews.
LG too? I mean, I thought
no,
LG
it's a Whirlpool. LG doesn't make good They don't make good household items. Okay. I'll just say that.
Okay.
TVs are good, but
their fridges and appliances don't work
Samsung,
well.
though.
Samsungs are good. Frigidaire's good. Apparently, Magic Chef is like the best brand ever.
Which always seemed like a cheesy brand to me.
Because
my dad, that's like the cheap little.
My dad has 3 Magic Chefs that are 20 years old, 30 years old, 1990. They're in they're 33 years old and they're all still running strong and have never had to
some consumer
never
advice.
had to be replaced. Never. I don't know. I don't get it. So anyway,
interesting.
Got a new dishwasher. Got that ordered.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, woke up and thought, man, what am I gonna do?
A full day.
Got a full 3 days. I don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Yard was mowed. Everything was done. Trailers opened up and been cleaned out. I thought, you know what needs to be done? None of the cars really need detailed.
Okay.
Doing pretty good. What do I have sitting in the garage for the last month? Struts.
Ooh.
Front and rear struts for the Elantra. You guys famously know I run on 150,000 mile blown out struts on my car.
Oh, well, my God, Jeff, that's terrifying.
They're just worked in.
Yeah, right, Jeff? Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
So basically, I thought, this is the weekend.
Yeah.
Told Carly, this is the weekend. I'm going to replace the suspension on the Elantra. She goes, anything you can do to keep that little car alive, I'm all for it. So I said, well, it's probably going to take me the whole weekend. She goes, that's fine.
Nice.
Saturday morning, jacked the front end up, pulled the wheels off, pulled the front assemblies off, pulled the H&R springs. I have a spring compressor that I've famously owned for 11 years. I rented it from O'Reilly's and never returned it, so I owned it.
Yeah.
Because they basically charge you for the tool, and then if you come back, you get your money back.
Yeah. Right. That's collateral.
Yeah. And I just kept it. I never used it. I bought it for my Jeep, never used it. So I got to break it out 11 years later, utilize it. Got the H&R lowering springs off the stock struts, replaced the fronts with a pair of Tiburon struts.
Ooh, right.
Monroe or Gabriel Ultras. That's what I put in
more
the struts.
performance-oriented
Highest
struts.
brand.
I just remember driving
level.
the Elantra when Dan was visiting, and they had a very interesting ride quality to it.
Yeah, there was really no ride. It was mostly H&R.
It felt
springs.
like I was.
It was just
smacking the top of it constantly.
Yeah, you're just hitting the top hats, right?
Yeah.
Which means you obviously need to extend the top hats on.
Just like, that's where it is. Oh, that's where it is. Oh, that's where it is.
They're there. But did Tibbies on the front, some Tibby struts. But Gabriel Ultras, some very high, nice performance ones. And on the backs, Monroe OE Spectrums, and again, H&R springs. So maybe leave So the spring compressor G was in the red truck. I found it in there. Yeah. So I was surprised that I'd put it back there. I thought I needed it. But anyway, I
love mine, Joe, too. Yep.
But got that done. So Friday or Saturday, no problems getting the fronts done. Sunday, was able to get the rears. The driver's side rear was the only one that was giving me problems.
Little rust or something?
Yeah, they were just kind of seized up.
Oh, okay.
I got all the other bolts. I got all the bolts off or nuts off, but I couldn't get the bolts out at the bottom where those 2 bolts.
So a little penetrating.
So I've been putting a little. I only had WD-40, so I had to run over to the store, grab some PB Blaster, put some PB Blaster on, let it sit for about an hour. Went and got a soda. Went and grabbed some snacks.
It's what
out.
you do.
Yeah. And once I got that done, then I walked back over and I put my breaker bar on.
Okay.
Then took a pipe and put it over the breaker bar.
Give yourself some more leverage. Yeah.
Give me more leverage. Started going. Was able to get that leverage. I needed a big jack reacher. Exactly. Was able to get that leverage going. And then I started breaking that bolt loose. And I was like,
there we go.
Here we go. We're moving. Then I pulled up my blacksmithing hammer, grabbed that thing, and I had the bar like this. And I was like torquing it. And then I was smacking the other side of the bolt to pop it out. Right?
Yeah.
I got a good rhythm going.
Now this is some Viking stuff.
So I'm working this arm while I'm swinging a hammer this way, right?
Yeah.
Getting a good forearm workout.
Yeah, where Drew is playing in the background. There's like these gods.
So I'm going.
coming.
I got my hat off, and I'm just
there he
sweating.
goes.
I'm getting it, and then next thing I know, pipe slips off, smacks me in the face.
Yeah.
I drop the hammer. I look at the car, and I'm like,
Did I just take my eye out?
what just happened?
Yeah.
Touch
At least you
head.
didn't drop the hammer on your foot.
Touch my head. It's bleeding.
I can still see the mark. Yeah.
So I have a nice little mark. I'm hoping it turns into a really cool scar.
Maybe we get a little close up
You
here.
got
I'm
really
sure that
lucky by
camera
not
can
taking
pull it
your eye
up.
out of
See?
that thing.
Yeah, so there.
Yeah, it got you.
I got
It got you
smacked
good.
pretty hard. It hurt. I went and got some ice and chilled out for a bit and was like, well, that was not fun.
No.
Yeah.
And Carly goes, what were you doing? And I demonstrated again what I was doing to show her and how
rowing technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, that wasn't very smart. So anyway, got all that. I was able to get it finished, put back together.
The hammer.
Yeah, I had to drop the hammer. But I did buy myself some nut busting torque.
Yeah.
Got me a
Was
Husky
it
air compressor.
after you hit yourself?
No, I did that before.
Oh,
I did that on
okay.
Friday when I picked up my dishwasher. When I ordered
Okay.
my dishwasher, I went over to Tool Aisle.
I was gonna say
Bought me
nothing.
You're absolutely right, Jay.
450 foot-pounds of nut busting torque.
Well,
That
'cause
rust will stand a
it's never
chance.
you're never
Husky
more
pneumatic.
motivated to buy an impact gun, like a real like a true impact wrench, until like you've come across a situation
Right.
like this.
Well, that was
like
the
I
thing.
said, I bought mine out of anger. I
Yeah.
bought mine out of pure
Yeah.
hatred.
I did this in preparation.
Same. What is it about that?
So
that
I did
just-
this in preparation.
Yeah.
Everything else worked wonderfully. This was the one strut that wouldn't work with the 450 pounds of nut busting torque. So I had to create my own nut busting
Okay.
torque with
Well.
my shoulders, my arms, my hammer.
I mean,
I
if
got
you're
it
using
going.
a breaker bar and it can't manage, it was
Well, it was a
pretty
breaker
tough.
bar and a pipe, Dane.
God. So yeah,
So-
you're using the extendo reach.
But anyway,
So
got
you
it.
eventually got it.
Got it all off. Was able to get it swapped over the springs, got the new struts on, got everything tightened back up. About 5:30 Sunday night, car was done.
Yeah.
Set it back down on the ground, was looking at it, and I said, I need to get in alignment next. Because one tire on the front is like this.
The car's sitting flat and one
Yeah.
tire's like off the
The
ground.
other three are like this.
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, that's kind of odd. So the car's done, but it felt good. Saturday night, Carly went out, so I had the evening to myself with the kids. We went and got some pizza twists, and then I vacuumed the car, kind of just cleaned it up a little bit, got all the garbage and stuff out. I didn't really detail it because it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I just touched it up a little bit, cleaned up some spots, did the windows, little things like that. Monday, woke up. I watched Hellboy Sunday night.
Throwback.
The
yeah.
new Hellboy,
Oh.
the 2019 one,
The David Harbour one?
the David Harbour one.
Okay, yeah.
Not as bad as I thought it would be. Like I watched it before, and I remember seeing going like, it's okay.
I mean, Ron Perlman was iconic.
I really liked Ron Perlman, but this one I actually enjoyed also. I really
like David
enjoyed it.
Harbour,
I just
though.
like Hellboy the character.
Yeah.
I've always loved Hellboy the character, and so even from the old comics,
Mm-hmm.
so it was, but it was fun. And then Monday woke up, nothing to do, lazy day, chilled out. Me and the kids had an important tradition we had to make sure we watched. We had to watch Joey the Jaws Chestnut defend his title,
Oh yeah.
the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Wow.
So 9 a.m.
Gee.
Yeah, see, the first time I couldn't. Second time I watched it, I was like, okay, I can enjoy this now.
How many hot dogs?
Got up extra early, right?
Yeah.
9 a.m. Live broadcast.
Oh, wow.
On YouTube. Me and the kids sitting down, getting ready, enjoying, ready to watch Joey do this. Bring back the magic. Protester jumped in front of him while he was eating his hot dogs.
Oh, no.
No way.
Probably cost him a world record.
What?
This year. He only ate 63 or 64 hot dogs, but
what were they protesting?
Did it?
Him eating?
No, the Smithfield Farms.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Good protesters, like good, a good reason.
Yeah,
to
no,
protest.
if it's a good reason, I support it.
I mean, jumped right in the middle of Jimmy.
Yeah.
This is unfortunate for Joey.
So Joey's sitting there. Not only has he got a cast on one leg, he is scarfing them glizzies.
Yeah.
Choking out a protester at the same time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Truly an amazing spectacle to watch. That's why he's America's hero.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I swear.
Choke slammed a glizzy protester. It was pretty improusive.
He didn't actually touch the protester.
No, he did. He put him in a full-on headlock.
He's just like,
He had a mouthful of hot dogs.
You are full of it.
No.
Okay, we're
It's
gonna
on-
look up
You guys
the
can
image.
look it up. It's on Google.
He
I'm serious.
actually touched the protester.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I'm sure
That is
Nick
the
could find it.
funniest-
Nick could Google it.
I like how
Joey
he
Chestnut
had to have
choking
been
out a
watching,
protester.
so he actually understood. I didn't even know this was going on.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wow. Oh,
Again, why he's America's sweetheart.
multitasking like
Homie walked in on crutches
Oh,
Yeah.
because he had a full cast from the knee down.
Oh my God.
what happened?
So, they grabbed the cops. NYPD came and got him. Joey kept going. Once he pulled him out of the line and threw him on the
So
ground.
who was Joey's competition? Was like Matt Stoney in there?
Yeah, Matt Stoney was there.
Who-
Eater
so-
X
I
was
like how you
back.
guys know who all
Like,
these
there's
people
a lot of those
are.
guys were there.
So who ended up taking
Yeah,
it
it's all
then?
over the glizzy web, G. Davis. So
Wow.
Joey won.
Okay.
He ended up winning.
But he didn't
But
set the
there was
record.
potential. He could have hit 74, 75, 76
If it
hot
wasn't
dogs.
for that
If
protester.
it wasn't for that protester, to distract him for a good 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyway, kids were screaming, cheering. Augie and Hadley were like, "Woo, Joey, go!" They were stoked.
The glizzy gobbler, dude.
Yeah, they were loving it. So then we finished up. It was
Wow.
about 10:45 or so when it was over. I had a meeting at 11 that I had scheduled, or 11:30 that I had scheduled when I thought we were working on Monday. So I still had to do that meeting with some friends of ours.
Oh man.
So I went into the MOSHQ podcast studio and did my Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Then got done, finished that, and the kids were like, Hadley goes, so Hadley walks up and she goes, so I'm hungry.
Oh no.
And I said, oh, you are? And she goes, we got to eat some hot dogs.
Yeah.
She's like, it's just got to happen. So I told Carly, I said, hey, I'm going to go grab us some hot dogs. And she goes, yeah, go for it. Let's cue it up.
Yeah.
So went and got hot dogs, chips, the whole 9 yards. Started cooking up the hot dogs. That's when I started sending you guys the whole video series of me cooking up, how I cook up my glizzies, how they work out on the man grate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So got that done. Kids had a great time. Hadley ate 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
My 11-year-old, pretty
Yeah.
impressive. And she was like, I'm pretty much the fastest eater next to Joey Chestnut. I said,
Wow.
you're pretty fast.
Yeah.
You're pretty fast.
You're training them.
Well, I told her, I said, I still ate 6 myself.
So.
So, but then chilled out the rest of the afternoon. I ended up taking a nap after I had 6 hot dogs in my belly.
It's fair.
I was a little tired. Took a nap at 2:30. Woke up at 5:30.
Oh.
Completely fell asleep. Like unconscious. Got up, kind of went, hung out a little bit around the house, then lit off our little fireworks, then took the kids after we lit off our fireworks because we didn't buy that many. We bought like $20 worth.
Yeah.
I hate the fireworks stands because they're owned by
Big Firework.
Big Firework.
Big Firework.
They're owned by mom and pops that are mostly donating their proceeds to other places that I don't agree with.
I was amused to see them like trying to advertise their wares in the parking lot at Albertsons on Fairview and Cole, where they got bored. Nobody was buying their stuff, so they just took like half their gear off the rack and started lighting it in the parking lot of Albertsons.
Oh, impressive!
And I was like, oh, that's one way to do it.
But anyway, so we spent $20, got like 5 pieces of firework to give to my children to use. And then, yeah, exactly. And then,
what year is it?
So we lit off our fireworks. My kids were happy. That's all that mattered. They didn't care the number of fireworks we had.
Yeah.
They were just happy that there was fireworks.
Yeah.
And then I piled them into the car and I said, come on, children. Your dad's going to show you what it's like to be a resident of Boise, Idaho for over 100 years. We're going to the top. Yeah. So we went up on Federal Way, or went up past Federal Way, went up above the Home Depot and Fred Meyer's there.
Nice.
Sat there for a bit. That's that picture that Dane posted as our title picture.
It's a great view
Hadley
from up there.
Cheering him on. We could see the whole valley.
Well, there's a whole walking path on the rim over there that you can see the valley.
Yeah, on Federal Way. But we were up above that. So we were above Home Depot.
Oh, wow.
And Fred Meyer's.
You're way up there.
So we were up there looking over, and it was perfect. We got a full view, watched the fireworks for a while, watched all the neighbors' fireworks, got to see all that. And then about 10:30, I said, I'm going to go. I said, let's hop in the car. It's time for bed. We got to get home. It was about 10:20. We cruised down Federal Way towards the M. Morrison Park where the fireworks were actually going off.
Yeah.
The whole drive along Federal Way, mortars going off while we're driving.
Yeah.
That'd be a perfect place to do rollers.
Yeah.
At 10:30 at night on 4th of July next year.
You just get a Super Merca vehicle.
Pretty rad. Tons of people we'll do it with the Elantra. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tons of fireworks going off.
Yeah.
And then as we come down the road, then the actual fireworks show happening.
Dang.
My kids were going crazy. Augie was filming the whole time. Augie was doing his own rollers in the neighbors' cars, hanging out the side, shooting with his phone. It was pretty crazy.
Dodge Neon looks sick with these fireworks in the background.
He's going to be the next Jimmy, I think.
Oh, wow.
And so it was pretty good. But then we made it home. Yelled at my children to go to bed now.
Yeah,
because it's time, and they're like neighborhood's still popping off like crazy. Turned up their sound machines, put them to bed. Woke up this morning, the whole house was asleep, raining out front my house. It was like, sweet, headed into work. Simple, easy,
nice.
Breezy,
Relaxing.
cover girl.
Yeah, I like that.
So
Anthony.
All right.
How about your weekend? You always want to wait till last because you got one to share.
So I just have a warning, right?
Caution.
Caution. Do as I say, not as I do, or something like that.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home, kids. So yeah, that's a good one. So Friday, me and Katie were talking about how we decided that we were going to host 4th of July at my house, right? And we were going to say we're going to host 4th of July, and typically, I don't know, we don't host a whole lot of things.
Well, it's easy because you got the baby, so
yeah, but it just
you have to go anywhere.
Yeah, it just makes it easier for us. But of course, I tell my wife that hey, we're going to have my parents over, her grandparents are going to be over, her sister's going to be over, and it becomes, oh my gosh, we have to change the house. I'm like, change the house. I mean, clean the house. No, change the house. Change
These walls need to be painted. This furniture needs to be replaced.
I need to hang all these things. So starting Friday, there was a little bit, that was kind of the ambiance around the house.
Friday evening,
we got to prepare this house for the next couple days, really get it prepped and really get it going. So anyway, so I believe, I think it was Friday evening I got home, and I think that was probably the most relaxing evening I had. I think I watched the episode of The Boys, which is just, like I say, getting crazier and crazier. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then after that, I think that was actually, that's what it was. Got home. Fortunately, remember those baby birds? I don't ever tell you guys about the baby birds. Passed away, unfortunately. Found had to give them a burial, right?
Yeah.
So I buried them. I literally shoveled things in this
like a
field.
hamster in the backyard.
Yeah.
It was essentially that.
Yeah.
So I did that. It was the right thing to do. So Saturday morning was my mom's birthday, right? So that Saturday was my mom's birthday. So I asked my mom, I said, well, what would you like to do? And she's like, well, I'd really like to go to the zoo. So I have not been to the Boise Zoo.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
And dude, I don't know. I think I went there when I was like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
So it's been like 17 years. Holy smoke, it's been a long time, right?
Yeah.
So went to the Boise Zoo with Lucy.
Zoo
That's
Boise.
what my mom wanted to
It's
do.
a wild ride, Joey.
Take the baby and go walk around
Yeah.
the zoo. Pretty cool. Like
Yeah,
honestly,
so
for
it got
what
it got remodeled last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it went through a massive remodel last year.
So what changed
a
about it?
lot. Dane, they added a whole new section, whole new wing. It's impressive.
They kind of Disney themed it. Like
did,
they
a
have a
little bit
lot
more.
of like.
It's very nice. They did a good
They
job.
created some vibe-like places where
Some
you
different
can go.
areas. You got
So
like
it's
a
not
safari
just
area.
exhibits, like
No,
they
it's
kinda
exhibit,
like
normal exhibits.
Like you know the ride Jungle Cruise at Disneyland?
Yeah.
They kind of like themed it after certain areas like that.
So they
you
tried to give it a little more character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's beautiful now. They
So
did a
it's
good
a little
job
more
with it.
theme park like.
'Cause I've been in ages.
Talk
either.
to your parents. See about buying
Oh, gee.
as the baby gets older.
Yes, he was.
As the baby gets older, have them buy a zoo pass,
oh yeah, maybe.
and that way, and be like, hey, just get us a zoo pass,
Yeah.
because then it's something that you can take. You could take her because it's usually like you plus one, and so that way, if they did it in her name, then she'd always get him free, and then either you get a discount or whatever. That's what we do. We have an aunt. She buys a zoo pass, and the zoos are available like Pacific Northwest wide.
Yeah.
So,
But it was a themed day
Yeah,
at the zoo.
right,
I did
yeah.
not know it was a themed day.
It
It was
was.
red, white, and zoo.
right, it
Didn't know that. Right.
Nice.
So
was a birthday.
took forever to park.
100-year-old,
Okay.
100-year-old tortoise.
Saw him, right?
yeah.
Saw him and the
60-year-old spider
and
monkey.
The 60-year-old spider monkey saw him too. It
Yeah.
was Elvis, right?
Yep. He's one of the
So-
oldest spider monkeys in the world, apparently.
Did not know that was happening, right? So it took forever to park.
Yeah.
It took forever. But once we got in, it was very strange. Their theme for this was red, white, and zoo. But what that consisted of is having a bunch of people dressed up like from the Confederacy, as
Oh,
well,
no.
as well as
Oh, no.
also like Abraham Lincoln and like
America.
Thomas Edison and just like a lot of these like historical people walking through
The zoo.
So it was
Oh,
very
no.
strange. So you're walking through and like it's History Day here. I'm like, but this isn't what I thought it was gonna be like. Right?
This is a zoo.
So you're walking around and there's just like literal like you have like the North and the Deep South and then you have the people like I mean like dude, there's like colonels and all sorts of different people walking around and you're like the kids are like why are these people here? Right? They're more confused than I am. So
Were they like hired by the park or?
it was
No,
it
there's
was
probably
supposed to be like a
place
historical
stuff.
like America themed day where you have these historical characters walking
Okay.
around like Thomas Jefferson was there, George Washington were walking around. And it was just strange because the kids were not like excited to get pictures with these old men. It was not like a fun thing. It was
Powder
kinda
wig.
like,
Why is that guy wearing that?
It was kind of like, why are these guys in full suits walking around on a 100-degree day? That's
So
kinda
he's out there walking around.
strange.
I hate Hamilton.
So
Jeez.
anyway, check things out, right? Went and saw Elvis, 6-year-old spider monkey.
Wow.
That was
Yep.
it's kind of a strange thing. But what I was thinking
Weird
about
times.
while we were there is
Yeah.
first off, this is pretty cool that we have some of these rare exotic animals here
Yeah,
in
it's,
Boise.
the
right?
zoo is amazing,
It is pretty cool, right? We have a lion,
We have
we
a
have
good zoo.
tigers, we got bears, we have a
and we have a
sloth
nice
bear.
we have a
my.
nice zoo
Yeah.
where they've really cared about like taking care of the animals.
And okay, so I was on that subject. I was thinking to myself, there were certain exhibits where I'm like, this looks pretty well kept for, really well cared for. And there's other ones where I'm like, it smells like pure pee. Like there's not like, what do you do? I don't know what kind of zoo care looks like, right?
Yeah.
But I thought to myself, they got me and Levi out, a couple of pro detailers out here to come detail
clean
these
the place
these
up.
pins up. Get them looking nice. That might be a nicer place for these animals to live. Now, I'm not going to sign myself up to do that.
What do
You know who I
what's
bet
that
would
smell?
do it?
Smells like success.
Yeah.
Send Gabe out there. He
Oh,
loves
Gabe-
cleaning.
Gabe
Gabe's
loves,
great at it.
loves
Yeah.
cleaning things, right? And
He'd be all over it.
It was just cool, though. I really actually think that zoo is pretty nice. It's worth going to 100% for sure. But yeah, so we had a good time, walked around, saw the exhibits. She started getting kind of fussy towards the end there. We saw the zebra, but we went into full circle. Saw everything we could. From there, we left and went to the Edge Brewing Co. Brewing, right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got lunch there. Killer lunch.
Nice.
Killer. Best fish and chips I've ever had in town. And the Philly sandwich there with the au jus. Amazing, right? Ooh. So did that, and then the rest of the evening I believe that was on Saturday, got home, and I think everything was spent cleaning up, right? We jumped in the pool for a little bit, right?
Very nice,
Got to experience that, and man, I gotta say,
such a delightful amenity.
It is a delightful amenity. It is so nice, right?
So nice.
Be able to jump in that on a hot day, right? Relax, kick back, really take it all in. And I'm trying to think. I think the rest of Saturday was actually pretty laid back. I'm looking through my photos here just to try to remember what happened. No, I got some pictures at the zoo, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, that was it. So then Sunday woke up, and first thing I did was I watched my Evo after a long time. Weirdly enough, I actually texted him a video about this. This is the strangest thing. Remember I told you about it was like a little bit less than a year ago, that cat jumped on my hood. Had a dance party, right? I have yet to polish that out and recoat it, right?
Right, but you have it.
I have it, right? Weirdest thing. I washed it, but I mean, keep in mind, it's been a while now. The car sat out in the sun a couple days, and it's gotten warmed up. Weirdly enough, all that marring from that cat, gone. Except for like one spot. No, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. It was a marred hood. I'm talking like white marks, swirl marks all over the place. And
is there a self-healing thing on there?
I don't know.
Well, it's OptiCoat Pro Plus.
Pro Plus. I have no idea. Basically, maybe that heat reflowed the clear.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I don't know, dude. I took a light to it. I couldn't find anything. And I'm like, well, this is kind of nice. If I don't have to repolish this hood, right?
Well, and in the early days of OptiCoat Pro Plus, I remember them talking, Ivan and Dan, hinting
that if you puck the car out in the heat, certain things.
They did say that to
They
me
were
when
like,
they put
it's
it on the
kind of
Jag.
self-healing, but we're not saying
well,
it's
no,
self-healing.
because they said, oh, I got a bug mark, right? It's a bug etching, right?
Etch.
And they said, oh, just put it out in the sun. And I was like, dude, it doesn't work like that. Weirdly enough, I think there's
they kind
something.
of danced around it. They never
did
actually
well,
said
I think
it.
it never wanted to be a claim.
They alluded to it, but they
was
never
something
wanted
that
it to be in the official material.
could happen.
Potentially.
Because
So
the problem is, as soon as you say it's going to be that, then people
right.
I'm
have
talking
expectations.
these marks were bad. This cat walked all over the hood. I mean, there was you could see the transition of light everywhere all over the whole thing. And like I said, I took a light to it. I think there was one mark that didn't disappear, but I was like, I'm not going to repolish out this whole front end for one thing. It's ridiculous. So that was pretty cool. So next part of Sunday, because Katie gave me Lucy. She's like, hey, you have to do stuff around the house. You have Lucy. But my dad hit me up and said, hey, we don't have fireworks for the 4th of July. We need to go get some, right? Yeah. And I was talking to you guys about this last week, right? For that kit that we bought at that TNT stand that we used for the photos for our firework kit, we just wanted the box, right?
Right.
We spent $180
on fireworks.
$180 on that box of fireworks.
Yeah. In case you guys were wondering what happened to the fireworks, they lit some off in the video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then also John on Friday came around, offered it only to employees who had children of age. So, because I had 2 kids of age, I was allowed to take 2 fireworks.
Yeah.
So I got the honky tonk and the Northern Lights.
Heck yeah, good deal, right?
But that's what we did with those fireworks. So a lot of the employees got to take for their kids.
So with that said, right, we spent $180 on a box that was very unimpressive. I'm talking literally the firework you see in that video. That was like one of the medium ones.
Yeah.
Of just dead,
right.
nothing, right?
And you literally used it because it was lame.
So I told my dad, I said, hey, well, we're not going to go to a TNT stand, right? And he's like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Now, to give you guys some backstory here, growing up here, right, we've always gone, my family, for 4th of July, I've always gone to this one stand. It's out towards Middleton, right?
Oh, that's how you know it's good.
That's Middleton and Caldwell. It's
out towards Middleton.
The old Black Cat.
It's not technically a Black Cat store. I don't know. They sell furs. They sell furs. They sell traps. They sell fur trapping tools.
This is not a corporate stand.
They sell antlers. They sell
stand.
random
This is
other
a real store.
objects.
Yeah.
I think they sell like old, like already used, like shotgun shell or like gun shells, things like that. And then they sell fireworks. It's the weirdest
borderline
store.
Joe Dirt fireworks stand situation.
And I think there was a couple,
Husker do's and Husker don'ts.
and I think there was probably a couple drug busts at that place a couple times, but that's besides the point. Now, my family's always gone to that stand because that's where you get the good stuff, right?
Right.
So we dropped off Lucy, or Katie actually took Lucy, and then my dad said, "Hey, bring your motorcycle. We're gonna ride bikes out to this thing,
nice.
right?" He's like, "We're gonna cruise." He's
Did
like,
you get a trailer attachment?
No, he's got saddlebags, right?
Okay.
He's like, "We got saddlebags." He's like, "You got a backpack." Like, he's like,
This is one of those places with the sign that says out of state use only.
Yeah, something like that,
Okay.
right? So
They're like liability
So we
gone.
cruise out, right? Motorcycles, bam, cruising, right? Letting the wind blow, hit us. We're mobbing on that freeway. We get to the stand, big line, right? Already starting to form. We park the bikes, get in line, and I'm kind of antsy. I'm like, okay.
What's gonna be in here?
I'm like, I've never actually been in this store. You've always just bought this stuff and appeared at the house.
This is
right?
this is a moment for you and your father.
Yeah.
Wow.
To be able to, he's taking you now as a newly minted father.
I know.
Showing you where the
So-
fishing hole is, so
Yeah.
to speak.
And we're talking about, he's like,
honeypot,
he's
as
like,
they
so
call
what's your
them.
game plan? He's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. And then it's a matter of the financial discussion. How much do you want to pitch in for this, right? And I said, well, if I would have spent, I was going to spend a minimum of like 180, considering that's
But
what
you
we
were
got
like,
for
yeah.
the box that we got at work. So I'm guessing 100 if I can get more bang for my buck. We walk into the store, Levi. I'm telling you what, it was like walking into a place, like it was packed full of people, but the amount of fireworks on the walls, right, and in the bins, and then the antlers and the furs and the trapping tools, and the different types of.
So you're telling me I could have
camouflage
gotten a coonskin cap for Augie,
You could. You can get a hat and all that.
a
right?
trap,
Walking out
a
looking
bear
like
trap,
Johnny Appleseed.
and some fireworks.
Yes, it was the craziest thing.
Impressive.
And I was like, this store actually exists. It's like the Army surplus store on
one of our favorite stores.
on steroids
Yeah.
with fireworks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
See, that's great.
so we walked through, we're looking at all these things. Now, the difference between this place, this is the hard stuff.
Yeah.
This is the good stuff,
Yeah, the
right?
real deal.
This is the stuff that you have to sign a waiver that says you're not lighting it in Idaho, all of that, right?
Yeah.
Every single one of these fireworks
They know what they're
is probably
doing.
10 times more powerful than the standard TNT, like what you would get at a
Yeah.
stand, right? It's crazy, right? A brick of those blossoms, those little bloomers, right?
By the way, I paid $5 for 8 of them.
a brick
at the TNT stand.
of 40 is $5,
See,
right?
this is why I need to be there.
Yeah.
How much for a box of those little poppers?
Dane, I think they just give them to you for free.
See, I love that.
$3.50 a box at the
The
TNT
ones that all
store.
kids use to annoy everybody when they're
Yeah.
driving by in a car and they throw them out
Well,
the
they're
window at
buy
other
one,
cars.
they're buy one get one free.
Oh,
When
okay.
I went, they're $3.50 a box. They put in 2 boxes. They gave me 2 packs of flowers, 2 tanks, and a pack of weird explosive ropes. It was $20
Weird
for that.
explosive ropes.
I could have
Wow.
gone. I could have gone out there for $20 worth of gas.
Yeah.
The
and,
tanks are classic.
and got $20 worth of stuff.
Yeah. No.
and
So
still
it-
come back with a bunch.
But we start making our way past the entry level stuff. That's when you start getting to the good stuff,
Mortars.
right? Mortars, right?
Experienced users
so what
only.
people don't understand is here in Idaho, you can buy. You can't maybe not necessarily use, but you can buy mortars, right? All the aerial fireworks you could ever want, right?
Right.
The kind that make the big boom, shake a house, fly, 300 feet up in the air,
Send dogs running.
and have a massive explosion, right?
Yeah.
Now, as a dog owner who has dogs that hate these fireworks, right?
Yeah.
You put them in their kennels.
You still got to be got to be
That
somewhat
is brutal
Yeah.
and rude.
You got to be somewhat
Put a blanket
considerate
over
of
the kennel.
how
That
many
won't
of
fix
these
it.
are going to light, right? The problem is I have neighbors who don't give a crap about anybody other than themselves. So they'll light off roughly last year I counted, I'm guessing about 200 to 250 mortars, right? Which is insane, right?
Yeah.
For how big these things are. So I thought to myself, I don't want to go too crazy with mortars, but I want to get some good ones. We ended up buying a
Yeah,
kit.
Joey, there's a big old wink when they sell them to you.
We ended up buying a kit, a big old pack, right, that had a mixture of everything in it, but a mixture of all the hard stuff in it for I think it was like $170, right? But double the size of the TNT stuff, 80 times the hardness of what you would get a stand. And I was like, this is amazing. Bought that. Bought a $30 kind of has everything kit in it as well. And I was like, I think we're good to go. Man, I bought the good sparklers, not the crappy sparklers, like the big ones that like torch everything.
Yeah, they like catch stuff on fire.
And so we
nothing like a little bit of arson for the day.
We signed our waiver, right? Did our thing, and then moved on, right? So from here on, the rest of my story takes place in Mexico, where we drove roughly 30 hours to be able to experience
It's amazing you got there the same day.
Yeah, it is insane.
Wow.
So that was Sunday, wrapped up. I think I literally came home and then continued to help Katie with around the house cleaning and doing stuff and knocking out some more projects. So then the big day comes up, right?
In Mexico.
4th of July in Mexico, right? Or I like to say Mexico, right?
Right.
Now, there was a lot going on, right? Because Katie's finishing up the
Probably
house.
would have been faster to drive to Canada than to Mexico.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on because
the rules are a little stricter there.
It's only like 6 hours to Canada from here. So
yeah. So there's a lot going on. We were trying to get everything prepped, right?
Right.
Now, what I ended up doing was Katie started getting things, all the assortments of treats and chips and dips and all that stuff.
Star-shaped fruits with some other little blueberries.
Festive.
She cut star-shaped watermelons and all that. So, and about 5 o'clock, that was when family was going to start coming up, showing up. So our plan, right, we contacted the vet ahead of time, right, knowing that we were going to probably be doing some bigger things, right? We said, hey, our dogs don't like the fireworks.
Got some Xanax.
What do you got?
Need to find
right?
the doggy dope dealer.
They gave us these tubes of this green stuff. I don't know what the heck it was, right? Dude, we gave our dogs this stuff. They were on another level.
Oh,
they
nice.
were... and it was perfect because they hate fireworks, but they
were surfing
100% fine, right?
Oh.
Gave them a bunch of watermelon. They had a good time. Gave them that. So I said, from now, this is what we're probably going to do is just give them this to really help
just
them
so
out.
everyone knows, I like to break my dogs in the way that you break a horse.
Oh,
Because
boy.
last thing you want when you're a cowboy riding your horse and you shoot a gun
You don't want to
is to
spook
have
it.
that horse spook. John Green taught me this.
Okay.
And so what you do is you bring the puppy out when you're lighting the fireworks.
You
light them off
kids did, yeah.
while they're doing that so that they see that it's not such a big deal. It's not so bad. So Watson, even though he was shaking and terrified, he sat there, hung out. He was more worried about the children doing his duty as a dog because he's a herding dog. Mm-hmm. He was able to make sure that his children were safe, even at his own expense.
Yeah.
But he was still fine. So pretty impressive.
Callie was
How
not
you do
about it.
Anyway.
So we all ate food, right? I cooked hot dogs, cooked burgers, cooked some cheesy dogs, did everything I wanted to do.
No slop dogs, though.
No slop dogs. And then my mom had a steak that she was like marinating for a couple days, like a big old like carne asada style steak. And we cooked that, and that was really good too. But the hard part is Idaho, right? Doesn't get dark. Mexico doesn't get dark until 10 p.m.
Even later.
10 p.m. if not later than that, 10:15. It's still light outside.
Sun's still on the horizon at like 10.
So what we ended up doing is we hung out.
Yeah, that picture of Hadley with the sunset was like 10:15.
Yeah.
We hung out in the front yard, right? Set up a bunch of chairs, and then brought Lucy out there, and we started doing small sparklers and just kind of showing her. She loved it. She was captivated by it. It was the best thing ever. Neighbors down the street, right, were doing their own thing, right? And this is Maverick, who is like, he's like the kid that just loves me. And so he's down there, he's yelling for me. So I walk down there. He's like, I got fireworks, Anthony. There's fireworks. There's all this stuff happening. I said, this is awesome. And, trying to hype him up about it. His grandpa goes out and lights a firework, right? It's one of those army men fireworks, right?
Oh,
it shoots up into the sky, right? It pops off, and then an army man parachutes down.
What? I didn't know those even existed.
Yeah, they're cool.
My kids would have died.
Dude,
if
I bet they
knew
would have
those.
loved that.
Where do they get those?
At the same stand, right? So the army
I need to go to
man
that
is
store now.
parachuting down, right? I mean, it's aerial. It's probably 150 feet up in the air, right?
Yeah.
Army man is shooting down.
Is the army man on fire when he's
No.
coming down? Wow.
No.
Remarkable.
And
impressive.
Maverick's freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god!" So
It's so
we're
cool.
running to this thing. He's like literally sprinting across the street. We get him, and he just his eyes, dude. He just couldn't believe an army man came out of a firework, right?
Yeah.
And it was the best thing ever. However, his friend, right, who's also my neighbor, right, his name's Brecken, was like, "Well, I want an army man, right? I want one too. And then I'm like, we go over to the parents, like, do you guys have another one of those? And the grandpa's like, I got one more, right? So I said, all right, Brecken, this is your guy. He's going to come from the sky. He's coming in hot, right?
Well, be ready.
This is paratrooper, right? We got to be able to intercept him as fast as possible, right? All the kids are pumped. They're screaming. They're yelling, like, this is the best. They're like, light it. Send them, right?
Yeah.
Some Red Dawn action
Army
here.
man. Bam, pops up in the air, right? And I'm like, there it is, right? You see the parachute deploy, right? And then the kids are like, let's chase it. As it flies, it's heading straight towards the biggest tree in the neighborhood.
Oh, no.
And the kids are like, get it. And then it stops, and then nothing happens. This little boy was like, where is he? I'm like, well, Brecken, like all paratroopers, right? There's that risk that where you
might land in a tree.
You might land in a tree, right? And he goes, well, when will he come out? Because the kid's like 3, right? He's like,
I don't know.
He's like,
sorry,
he's not a real paratrooper.
I said,
I'm sorry.
You know, like all other paratroopers, it could be rain until you find the body. You know, it could be wind until we find the body. Like there could be a lot of different scenarios there.
Oh my!
And the kid, he was distraught, man. He just couldn't understand why. And then Katie's like, you amped them up. You went over to their house. You got them excited.
Ruined it.
And then it was your fault that army man got caught in the tree, right? Because we had a little wind.
God. Yeah. It was a little breezy yesterday, which had me worried about fires.
Anyways, and that's when things got worse, right? So it was time for us to start lighting off some fireworks.
How's it get worse? You were going to light your fireworks off.
I mean, you already made a kid cry, so.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So in Mexico, this particular street looked exactly like mine. Okay. Like same layout and everything, right? Which is crazy. My neighbors were there too. So it was just crazy that my neighbors wound up in Mexico. You guys
all went to Mexico at the same time.
All those houses that you rented.
So we start lighting off these fireworks, dude, one by one. Joey. It was getting better and better and better. I mean, the smallest one was like as good as the biggest one you would get at another one. I mean, it was impressive. So we're going down the line, and my family and Katie's grandparents and everybody's just really impressed. They're all having a good time. Lucy's loving it. It's going awesome.
So she wasn't scared of any of the other fireworks or anything?
No, dude. Okay. I mean, we started lighting off these crazy ones that were high-pitched sounds. We started lighting off a bunch of the cracklings, big, sparking ones. And then there was the missiles, right, that are not mortars, but they're smaller than that, and they go straight up, and they make a zip sound, and they're all colored, right? But it's like 50 shots, right? It just goes zip, 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 and just flies up in the air. Now, what ended up happening was I went to go light a mortar, right, and lit off the first one, right? Big old boom, flies up in the air, big pop, right, red. Katie says, hey, kind of close. You need to move a little further away, right? I'm like, well, I'm in the middle of the street, right? I'm in front of her house. Like, where do you want me to move?
In Mexico.
She's like, or right in front of my house in Mexico. She's like, I think you need to go further down.
Right.
So
the taquera.
So I light off a couple more, right? And light off a couple more, and it's again with the wind and all that. It's getting a little difficult at this point, right? But the fireworks are getting progressively better as I went from small to big, right?
Yeah, so you're getting excited.
He's just getting warmed up
and ready to rock more.
I counted with the Roman candles included, because we also got Roman candles, right?
Oh boy.
I would say there was over 50 something fireworks for about $200, right?
Dang.
I mean, good stuff. And so me and Katie's sister having a Roman candle fight, right? Launching these things off, how everybody's having a good time. And it's starting to get kind of late now. So I light off a couple more of these big mortars. And Katie goes, okay, seriously, you need to move down further because you're freaking me out, right? This happened to be after I lit off one. And then I'm standing there like, wow, that was insane, right? And I hear and on the hood of her grandparents' car was the shrapnel of one of the mortars, right?
Oh, no.
And she says, that could be one of your cars or that could be your baby. She's like, keep moving down further. So I light off one of these tubes, which I thought was just a normal mortar, right?
Yeah.
It was like a quad pack mortar, right?
Oh, no. Oh.
So you know how there's the mortars that just go off and make a big pop? And then you know the ones that shake the houses?
Yeah.
This is one of those house shaking ones. I didn't know it was a house shaking one.
Oh.
She's like, seriously? She's like, if you light off another one of these ones this close, she's like, I'm going to freak out. And I said, here's the deal, Katie. 10 feet that way is a dry field, right? 10 feet this way, it's closer to you. If I move closer to that dry field, I'm going to catch that field on fire. And she says, would you rather catch the field on fire or would you rather hit your baby with a firework? And I said, I don't really know what the right answer to that question is, right? Preferably neither, right?
There's always the option to stop, but I know nobody wants to do that
This
option.
is your land in Mexico that you have.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, hey,
Mexico after all.
Go down further, right? So at this point, I'm not even in front of my house anymore. I'm like in front of my neighbor's house, lighting these, or in Mexico, lighting these fireworks.
Yeah, the chicle stand.
I light off a couple more mortars. I can tell she's not happy about any of this.
You saw Sebastian
right?
there too. That was
but what was nice is over in that piece of land, that extra piece of land in Mexico that I owned, there was also some neighbor people there, right? Because they can see the fireworks from Hawk Stadium from that piece of land. It's a beautiful spot, but they're also watching our show and enjoying the time, right?
How many acres is that field?
Back there, I don't know, probably three or 4 acres, yeah. But this family's watching, and they're watching us. They're watching the fireworks over there, but they're under the tree under that piece of land, right? Just enjoying the vibes. And that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? We're coming up with like 3 fireworks left, right? And there is it's a 7-shooter is what it is. It's a mortar pack, but it shoots out 7. And I'm like, you know what? I'll light this one right now. Should put on a pretty good show. I go out there further down the street than what I was before. I light it, and I'm walking away. One shot goes up in the air, and then it tips over the box, right?
Oh, no!
And so mortars flying sideways.
No! You are literally living in the fireworks fail YouTube video
the worst thing that can happen.
right now.
Literally the worst thing that can happen, considering how stable this 7-packs box was.
Where is it pointed at this moment?
Well, it's just
because there's houses, tree, field.
It's 7 shots that I have to monitor, right?
First one went up, 6 more.
First one went up, right? No. Next shot, right? Flies into my neighbor's yard that was across the street in Mexico. Flies into that, nothing to worry about there, right? Next shot shoots at one of the cars or something like that. And then
You're exactly right,
the
Joey.
third shot shoots off right into my driveway, right?
At everybody.
The thing was, mortars, when they pop off, right? It's the initial boom and then they pop, right?
Yeah.
Crazy enough, the one that hit the driveway did not explode on the second detonation, right?
That's almost scary, though, because undetonated ones, if they pop later...
It basically diffused itself once it hit the ground and but that one went hit my driveway, went underneath the Honda Civic that I also drove to Mexico, right? So I'm like, no car was hit. And then it fired off a couple more. But, I mean, at this point, they're yelling at me.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, it's a fireworks sideways. I'm like, don't you think I know that?
I can't go fix it.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I'm running at it. Hopefully that it hits me versus anybody else behind me because I don't want to hit my baby or lose an eye. And then as the fireworks
make you sign a waiver.
Right as the fireworks stops, right, I hear the neighbors. I hear those neighbors that were over on that piece of land over there. And they're like, the field's on fire! We got a fire! And dude, my heart sank, right? My stomach dropped. And I knew there was one other shot I didn't account for, right? Because I was like blacked out, right?
Yeah,
trying to monitor where these mortars are going. Yeah. And I'm like, no way, right? But my dad reaction kicks in. I run. I grab the bucket. My dad's already running past me. My 6-year-old dad's already sprinting past me. So there's a dry field right next to that plot of land. It's completely dry. It's about as dry
it's all tall grass that's yellow.
It's as dry as it could be, right? I see about 2 to 3 foot flame, right? And I see it spread probably maybe 3 feet, 2 feet in diameter, something like that.
And there's a breeze.
And it happened like that. It was so fast that I didn't even know something could happen. I didn't know someone can bust that fast, right? And my neighbor's running over there too.
A lot of people can bust that.
Yeah. And so
a lot of people find out the hard way
during
during
this
time of year.
fire, right? Trying to put it out, and it's getting out there, and and there's ashes and all that around. I come up with the water, and it was just crazy because the vehicles were blocking it, so it shot underneath like my truck into the dry field, caught it on fire, right? And happened to do that. if the neighbors weren't in that piece of land and saw that happen,
you would have noticed.
We probably wouldn't have noticed for maybe another minute or two.
And then your neighbor's house would go up, and then you would feel really bad.
But that fire caught up in
Mexico.
In Mexico, like it was like 1 second.
In a video game.
It was the craziest thing.
Wow.
And I was very embarrassed because I'm like, but then of course I come back to half my family is not on the driveway. No. My wife is walking away. She's
like,
upset.
I don't know this man.
And so I'm just like, so she comes out. She's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, well, you asked me, would I rather hit my baby or light the field on fire? Obviously,
I guess we found out the answer.
I'd rather light the field on fire, right? Now, this is not something to joke around about.
No,
honestly.
This is terrible.
This is definitely something. That is
the fire department
scary.
is watching this right now.
But the reason that you signed that piece of paper.
Yes, that's why there's waivers.
You're like 100% liable if anything like that were to happen.
Yeah.
So thankfully, everything worked out. We did light off one more big mortar. I know I probably shouldn't have, but I'm like, it was another one of those big boom ones. So I'm like, we got to just at least do it, right? Did that, and then had to console my wife and tell her, hey, I'm sorry about that. And I said, what I've learned from this experience is that what I learned from this experience is that I won't buy that 7-shooter again, and I'll keep it to the single shot. So it's
the 7-shooter was the problem
to monitor what happens. But yeah, crazy. I never experienced that before in my life. I did not know something goes up that fast, especially when it comes to a firework. And now I totally understand why the foothills and all that.
This is why.
Well, that's what
impossible.
There are
that's
so
literally
many
what happened.
Fires
it's impossible.
here.
How would you even stop
8 years ago when the foothills did catch on fire?
Yeah.
Some kids went up to Table Rock, which so here in Boise they have a rule: anything north of Hill Road, like where your house is.
Yeah.
Like any of that is completely off limits. You're not allowed to light anything.
Every single neighborhood up where I am has a big fat sign that says no fireworks.
Yeah, north of Hill Road and north of Warm Springs, basically, they won't let you light anything. You have to do everything south. So like my sister-in-law, we couldn't do fireworks in her driveway. You had to go south of Warm Springs. So but that's what these kids did. They went up to Table Rock and were shooting Roman candles off of Table Rock, and that ignited the
There's so much dry brush around there.
It ignited it so fast and completely burned all the foothills.
Yep.
horrifically. Yeah.
The saving grace for me is that there's a lot of neighborhoods and houses behind me that are between
like
5
years
that.
ago, I think.
Feel bad saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty nuts.
It's a little spooky.
It went up fast and it was crazy. I remember riding my bike out to see the fire because it was so insane.
If you don't live in an area where these types of fires are common, then every year everybody gets a little bit concerned because they know it's gonna happen.
Well, those kids
did jail
time
somewhere
and
in between.
Like $250,000.
It's gonna happen because you said, "How do you prevent that?" I have a very unexciting answer. You just don't do it in the first place.
Yeah.
But
which is unfortunately true. I mean, and that's the tough part, right? Because I guess I don't have to have aerial fireworks, but it's the same point of like, would I rather spend $200 on the most unexciting thing?
I would rather spend
on something that's more exciting.
I would have rather spent $200 on some fun fireworks, rather than $200 at the TNT stand.
Yeah.
Well, right? as a trade-off, this may not be the most socially acceptable one, but when I was driving to drop off my cardboard last night, I passed by my old high school, and they have a massive tarmac parking lot. I mean, huge, multiple acres huge. And kids were setting off fireworks like crazy in that parking lot. And you know what? Given all the different places they could have done it, I'm happy they were doing it there and not next to a dry field or something like that. It's a big, wide open area with no like overhead stuff it can land on. They're even far away from the school, but the parking lot was huge. And if it lands on the asphalt, nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So realistically,
that's a lot better than doing it next to some hills with dry brush, etc.
I would have to either next year go further down the street to where I'm nowhere near the dry field like I was in Mexico, or just go somewhere else. So do it at my parents' house, who live in a cul-de-sac, right? Yeah. That's the only other option because, like I said, it was pretty scary, man.
Or drive out towards
and
Mountain
of course,
Home.
like, you hear somebody yelling fire, and then you have me and my dad and everybody else running over there to help put it out, and then the rest of my neighbors down the street looking down like, Anthony just set that field on fire. And I'm like,
they are never going to forget it. They're like,
yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, yep. I'm like, but they were good. They had super good attitude. And I loved it because the neighbors that saw the fire initially, who helped us put it out, were like, oh, dude, happened to us like a couple of years ago. Crazy fast how it happens, right? They had like such a good attitude about it, considering how embarrassed I was and like, mortified of the situation. Yeah. And I was like, well, I just didn't know, that the fire like that could start that fast. Yeah. And they look at me and they go, what fire? And I go, oh, yeah, what? He's like, they're like, we're just hanging out watching the fireworks. And I said, cool. Well, awesome. Let's go put this bucket away now. So everything ended good, right? We had some good food. And like I said, I was definitely next year be more careful. But
I hope you've learned your lesson.
But it was a good time for sure. I mean, it really was. Okay. I mean, I didn't film. I did take some home movies of doing everything, and that way I can show them later. But I really wish I would have got that one on camera.
Oh, man.
I think my reaction would have been to stop recording. But if I could have kept it recording, that would have been definitely worthy.
To be fair, if it wasn't you, it probably would have been your particular neighbors I'm thinking of right now who have a very big truck. They are definitely the type of people who would set off something that could light something on fire.
Potentially, Dane. Yeah. Potentially. You never really
Seem
know.
To have that, just that right attitude.
But great time. Yeah, dogs were totally fine, man. I'm telling you, it was the first time we've ever drugged the dogs like that with a prescription. The vet gave them.
Was it just like a green paste or?
It's just this green paste, I guess, and they just eat it. And they were totally chill the entire night. They slept like the dead. Yeah. Woke up this morning, they were 100% fine. So,
oh man,
we'll probably do that again down the road.
Okay,
oh, there you go.
But overall, great 4th of July.
Noted.
Yeah, it was a good time. So that's all I got.
Wow. There you go.
Well, that was quite the weekend.
Take us home, Dane.
All of you out there had some similar experiences, please feel free to share all your wonderful Fireworks fail compilation videos in the Rag Company group chat on Facebook. Just a big discussion group. It's fun, and I promise Anthony will have no leg to stand on making fun of you, so you'll be safe to put it out there, and everybody will enjoy.
Yeah, things happen in Mexico.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. So beyond that, we also talked about the reviews on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it if you leave us a 5-star review with at least 2 to 3 sentences or more saying something you enjoy about the podcast. Yeah. That gets us out in front of more people.
And in 2 weeks.
The benefit to doing that is
July 18th, 19th, when our next, main
weeks.
show podcast happens, we'll be giving away, let's do like a gold kit.
Yeah, let's do a gold kit.
We'll give away a gold kit.
Gold kit or equivalent, just depending on, stock availability. But
to
I
those
think that's
that actually leave a comment.
Yeah.
You have to leave a comment on Apple iTunes.
Yes, even if you don't have Apple devices, I understand you can still create an account on there. Doesn't cost you anything. Just enter your email, do the thing, and leave a review there because that's going to help us get in front of more people that way. We really appreciate it. And obviously, if you listen on another platform, leave us a review there if they allow you to do that. We appreciate that too. It's just right now the focus is going to be on getting the iTunes stuff kind of pumped up a little bit. Yep. So thank you in advance. All right, everybody, if you're not subscribed, please do so. Click like on this video. Gets us in front of more people here on YouTube. And we will catch you later this week for Q&A Thursday, where we answer your detailing questions. So, till then, have a great week.
See ya.